Hello, how you doing? It's Stephen J. Miller here, aka Steve Miller. And in this video, I'm going to talk about something that raises it raised the question all the time. The question raises, should I say, is raised, whatever. But before I explain how you keep your weight off when you're losing it and have lost it so that you are now an ideal weight, what I want you to do is subscribe to the channel and, of course, like this video. My social media person keeps telling me to say this, so there you go. Anyway, if you're benefiting from it, make sure that you definitely subscribe, because I've got a lot to say and a lot of support to give you. It is probably the biggest question and the biggest frustration for many people in terms of, and I know it is for me, so, just to share that with you, is once you've lost weight and when you're losing weight, how do you keep it off? What is important? And in this video, what I'm going to explain to you are three things. And the third one actually is quite new, but my own kind of research says that it can work especially well. Now, the very first thing that I recommend you do to keep the weight off is to make the FATnosis 80/20 meal planning system, emphasis on system, alive and kicking. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me just reiterate. It means when you've lost your unnecessary weight, you're at your ideal weight, what you're doing is you're going to have a lifestyle, all right? A lifestyle that includes basically eating 80% healthily and 20% a bit of what you fancy. Because what I don't want to encourage you to do is to deny yourself as you move forward. This is the problem with rigid diets, because when you come off that rigid diet, guess what? It's kind of big question mark popping out the head. What do I do now? What I want to encourage you to do is adopt that 80/20 lifestyle so that during the course of a week, 80% of the time you're eating well, 20% of the time bit of what you fancy. Let me give you a real example of someone that I know that manages her weight exceptionally well, 80/20. What she does is Monday to Thursday, she lives 80%. So that would be, for example, banana and yogurt in the morning, some light salad at lunch with plenty of water, and then in the evening, lots of vegetables, maybe with cottage pie, something like that. And she keeps her mind occupied so that she avoids caving into the temptation. Then on a Friday, what she does, it's the same thing. On a Friday morning, it may be fruit and yogurt, light salad for lunch, but at night time, this is where it changes. She starts to enjoy it 20% because that's the time of the week that she wants to actually enjoy it. And what she may do there is order in the takeaway, and she might get a bottle of wine. She might get chocolate out as well, and she has a good night. On the Saturday, she tells me that she does what she wants to do. So there is no restriction. So it is, a kind of free-for-all, but of course she manages it because she's not a Hoover, all right, of food. Then on the Sunday, what she does is on a morning, she may have a full English breakfast, but then what she says to me is at lunchtime, she has a healthy Sunday lunch. And then in the evening, of course, she may have a healthy snack as well. Then back on the Monday, it's back to the 80%. Now, that is an example of 80/20 living the FATnosis way. And what she tells me is that's now become part of her lifestyle, and that's why she can keep the weight off. So my very first thing to say to you is make sure that you adopt the 80/20 way that I created some time ago, my way, the FATnosis way, okay? The second thing, what do you do here? What have I got here, right? The second thing I want you to do is notice and pay attention that when a motivator for losing weight and keeping your weight off and managing your weight fades, as soon as it's fading, bring in another motivator. The other thing to say with this is to balance the kind of carrot and stick, because often you need to give yourself a bit of a finger wag as well as a kind of self-champion in your mind. Okay, so let me give you an example. A bit sweaty here today, guys. Let me give you an example. A carrot kind of motivator is knowing that item of clothing that you're going to buy next time. Okay, for keeping your weight off. Maybe it's something you'll want to get into on a certain thing, or you want to wear at a certain time. And the stick may be the reality of being too fat. You may actually get your old fat photo out, the one you look at and go, oh my God, I don't want to return to that. All right. So balance your motivation. The key message here, though, to actually keeping the weight, unnecessary weight off when you've achieved your ideal weight, is to refresh your motivation. That is critical. Now, number three is where you might think that I've gone a bit loopy. However, I haven't, I promise. The FATnosis Belly-Banned is something that I created in early 2022. And this is a process where you start to have internal communication in your head with your belly. Let me explain, all right? Here, this is a process that whenever inappropriate craving comes along, you build a relationship automatically between your mind and your belly so that you communicate with each other. Okay, you talk yourself out of it. But the way you talk yourself out of it is through the application of straight talking and humor. Okay, because one of the things that you can do is use humor for your advantage. Humor motivates massively. It makes us feel good. It gives us that feeling when we're having a good gut laugh. It helps us to have that feeling when perhaps we do eat food for pleasure and comfort. Okay, so for example, if you were in a situation like you go up to fill your car, you're going to go into the garage and you think to yourself, I could just eat a chocolate bar and a bag of crisps on my journey. What you do automatically is you start to communicate from here to your belly and allow the belly to communicate to here in a fun way. Okay, so you can actually talk about, well, you're not going to keep your lard off, are you? If you go in there and order that, are you, chubster, or whatever? You can use humor. As you know from my TV work, I advocate humor because humor motivates. And of course, your humor will be different to mine, so use your own sense of humor. But that inner dialogue, yes, you can talk yourself slim. You can talk yourself to remain slim as well. 3 things I've outlined in this video. I could go on, but I won't. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you like this video, but also comment below. All right? Speak to you soon. Ta-ra for now.